After a lights-out delay for 2 hours, Josh Berry and Corey Heim lead the field to the green flag, and the Puryear 225 by Harrison's Workwear is green. Lap number 1. Give that one to Corey Heim in the lead Pulyear Performance Toyota. Yeah, Layne Riggs, no surprise, trying to work the outside on Josh Berry. Same for Jared Fryer on Connor Hall. We saw the top side begin to come in the Pro Late Model race. Well, it's there. Move Riggs to the runner-up spot on the outside of Josh Berry. Jared Fryer going to follow suit as he rim rides around the 88 cars.
Week on week, almost, and now we get to see them because not only are they racing on the same racetrack, but if Carson completes this pass on Connor Hall, they're right next to each other in the running order as well. We move Carson up to 5th and Josh is in 4th. So,
here we go through the KRC Power Steering start zone. Corey Heim and Layne Riggs race off into turn number 1. Off the second turn, Layne Riggs powers ahead, but Corey Heim is not going to let him take that without some sort of fight.
We talked about how that outside groove can come in. Look at the way Layne Riggs is working that top line, keeping Corey Heim down on the inside lane.
New leader, by the way, lap 51, Layne Riggs.
By a nose. But still, now, I thought he was going to complete the pass, and then Corey Heim was just able to stay underneath. But again, you can see the way Layne's running. It's keeping Corey from being able to open up back on throttle on corner exit. It's keeping the 78 ultimately behind the 99 by a hair. And no, by the way, Josh Berry's right there watching all of this.
He just got by Jared Fryer while the lead was being diced up between these two.
And as let's skip ahead. Let's go to Josh Berry and Corey Heim, because Berry's gotten underneath Heim for second. And is Heim's Toyota fading just a bit, maybe?
Hard to say, but here goes Berry for P2. He will maybe take the spot in turn number 1. Yes, clear, says the spotter. Move Josh Berry to the second spot here on lap number 57.
He's able to use that outside lane, just like we saw Layne Riggs do with Corey Heim a few moments ago. Same sort of thing that we're seeing with Carson, whose brake rotors might be a little bit more cherry red than I think he'd like, but he's not going to complain if he makes the pass, and that should move him up into the 4th position.
It does. Let's move Carson Quapple up to 4th, much like his teammate heading forward. And again, the outside lane becoming a very viable means by which you can make up positions here at Greenville. Connor Hall takes the spot, P5 for now. Problems for Mike Looney. The Harrison's Workwear car slow in the front straightaway, and that will bring out the yellow flag here just past the halfway point.
Well, Mike, we heard really bad noise and it cut off. Did you find out anything else? What happened to this piece?
No, it was something in the engine or drivetrain. It shook a little bit and cut off, and I guess a good sign there's no smoke or water running out of it. But just another dismal race. I was riding around didn't have a very good car, but I was trying to save tires, maybe make a charge for a top 10 or something at the end. But just, man, I don't know what we got to do to get a break in this car's tour. I think I've had enough. I'm going to throw in the towel, I believe.
Through the KRC Power Steering restart zone, Layne Riggs is the control car, and he has chosen the outside into turn 1. Cannot quite clear Josh Berry. Now he will off turn number 2. Riggs still in command of this one.
Layne Riggs still there for the moment, gets the nose clears. That'll make things a little bit trickier for Josh Berry. Meanwhile, his teammate, Carson Quapple, working to the outside of that 78 machine of Corey Heim. And then Connor Hall got jacked up a little bit there, I think, by Jared Fryer, who then had to check up, and that almost put him into the clutches of the Nelson Motorsport drivers. But moving forward, look at Carson Quapple to the outside of Corey Heim.
The biggest thing I see, though, is Layne is getting off the corner a wee bit better. And when you set up a pass, problems. Turn number 2. We've got cars into one another, and that is Mason Diaz and Magnum Tate. who have come to blows on the outside of turn number 2. Layne Riggs and Josh Berry creep through the KRC Power Steering restart zone. And Josh Berry may have got the better of Layne Riggs on that one. They'll race side by side through turns 1 and 2. Off the second turn, it's a dead heat for the race lead.
I almost feel like he was just waiting for this moment. You know, he was looking to try and get underneath Layne Riggs for a good bit right before we had that yellow, and then he gets the yellow, gets to start side by side. And you thought he might take his chance, but Layne just about cleared him coming down into turn 1 there.
Yeah, Layne, great drive on the outside. We told you there's a high groove here. Riggs holds on to the top spot. And look behind him, Corey High making the outside work as well. That's for P3 on Junior Motorsports teammate of Berry, Carson Quapple. But Layne said, I did not realize how off we were in our old cars. Oh, hello, until we got this one right. And it's a miracle we've been running as good as we did with the old car. Now we've got it sorted out with this new stuff. But he's got to sort out Josh Berry because Josh is there. And man, Layne's just really able to get off the corner, carry that speed through center. Josh able to get on the brakes and into the corner better. But man, right there, Layne, again, barely clear into turn number 3. I'm not sure if Josh is using the brakes that hard or if whatever he's got on that car is problems. Turn 4. Yellow is out. We've got a couple of them wadded up, and they've already pulled away from the scene. Chase Burrow and I think Connor Jones got into it. Looked down, they were sideways. Race control called the caution. They drove away, but that gives us a 40-lap shootout.
With Jared Fryer.
Whoa, don't speak too soon.
Okay. All right,
Here comes Berry on the bottom. Got a good run that time out of turns 1 and 2. Tires still a little cool. Pressures haven't quite built up after that cool down. Side by side for the lead. Layne Riggs still holds on to it, but Josh Berry is there.
Look at how much lower Josh Berry went into the corner that time by. There was almost a car width that you could put in between Riggs and Berry just with where they entered the corner. And even still, it's a little bit tighter in 3 and 4, but there's a lot of space between those two.
Top 6 under a blanket, 37 to go. Riggs continues to lead, but again, Berry right down there on the bottom. You see him a couple of times starting to bottom the car out as there's contact behind him, but Riggs still making the outside work here at a flat Greenville-Pickens. Meanwhile, off the final turn, Berry still can't get the lead. 93 complete, and Riggs still in control, barely.
He continues to work that inside, does Josh Berry, but what does that say about those two? Oh, well,
Riggs did not appreciate being run off the racetrack right there. That was a payback from Layne Riggs, it appeared to be. New leader potentially? No at the stress. Josh Berry by 14 one-thousandths of a second, leader on lap number 94.
Might be this time as they continue to bounce off of each other. And let's not forget, Carson Quapple is right there if these two decide to really take each other on.
Oh, they're taking each other on right now. The question is, who lands the fatal blow, if you will, or is this going to be a hockey fight where they settle it out and just go about their separate ways? Berry again into the door of Layne Riggs down the back stretch. I think Josh is getting very frustrated down there on the bottom, and I think he's trying to move Layne up the racetrack, and Layne being very, very vocal behind the wheel that I do not appreciate that, as he now retakes the lead inside of 30 to go. After we figure out what's going on here, this is fantastic. Oh, another hip check from Layne Riggs to Josh Berry in the front stretch.
It does not stop, but boy, is it entertaining to watch. Contact again on the backstretch and again between these two who still refuse to. Oh, he ran above the racetrack there.
New leader trouble, turn 4. Contact between Quapple and Riggs. Riggs gets it rolling in about the 4th spot.
This might be the better angle here to see this because I saw Berry go up the racetrack more so than normal.
There's the second contact. See Quapple trying to get underneath, looks like. Yeah, it almost looks like Riggs trying to come down to protect the spot.
Or come down and try and cut underneath. Yeah, one of the two.
Or do the crossover. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
One of the two. I'm listening to race control at the moment. The way the rule is written, the way I'm understanding it by now, if you stop momentum on the racetrack, you stop, you will go to the tail in the caution. There was an incident with Josh Berry and Layne Riggs at Carteret County. a few years ago where this rule came up, and this rule was amended after that event, where at the time Layne was sent to the tail for being in the caution, but he never stopped actual forward momentum. He did a 360 and kept going. That rule has come into play, ironically, for the same driver and same setup again, but the rule is now written because he didn't stop for the caution. Race control called the yellow.
Well, I'm down here in Layne Riggs's pit, and I had an opportunity to talk to some of his senior crew members, and I said, you know, he's got to be hot inside of there. What are you doing to calm him down? He goes, you know what? He's mad more at himself. He said that he knew that 8 and 88 were going to be below him. He was trying to do a dive under.
Hate to interrupt you.
So, wow.
But you might have something here because the rule, the way it's written, is you go back to the last completed lap. The last completed lap, Layne Riggs was scored second.
Oh, boy.
This could get good.
Well,
one more time through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone. This time Josh Berry has chosen the inside as the control car. They stack up, but they're side by side and they go. Somebody else has a bent nose and a bent front end after that one, but the restart sounds like it's good. New leader off turn 2, Josh Berry, and they're still trying to crash off the second turn.
Big trouble there for the 09 machine.
That's Riley Gentry.
Yep. Who got stacked up in this and brings out the yellow flag once again.
18 to go through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone. That looked like a restart from two very talented professional race car drivers. As off turn 2, here goes Layne Riggs. Riggs back to the point around Josh Berry, dragging Jared Fryer with him, trying to take the second spot.
Have we seen Jared Fryer use the outside like this all that much tonight, up to now?
A little bit. He's been toying with it. He now takes third, this Fryer. Quapple back to fourth, and here goes Berry on Layne Riggs.
Oh, Berry with a deep drive down into 1. He might just be able to keep it alongside the 99 and does down the backstretch. So this could be a battle again going into 3.
Riggs able to hold Berry off. Again, clears him down the front straightaway. 16 laps remaining, separating one driver from $10,000.
I'm almost that time by. They just about made contact, and I think the chances that they get into each other and somebody gets moved sideways.
Like that.
Yeah, like that. I think that probability only goes higher and higher and higher as we get closer and closer and closer to the end of this thing.
Well, despite these two racing, new leader now Josh Berry to the point on lap 112. They're pulling away from the field. Berry now clears Layne Riggs off the second turn.
Needs to get around Riggs quickly in order to have any chance to run down Josh Berry and maybe wrest this lead away from him.
So Fryer to second now with 10 laps to go. Can he reel in Josh Berry? Problems for Connor Hall. He is nearly stopped in turn number 4. The Town Bank 77 may not be able to make it back to pit lane.
Berry really starting to dial it up when you need it.
Jonathan Schaefer is slow out of turn number 2. Are they running out of fuel?
That is a thought. That is a thought.
It's possible, not unheard of, but problems for Jonathan Schaefer. He'll be able to get back to the pit lane. Will stay green inside 5 to go. Problems for Justin Johnson. He is slow. They've got to be running out of fuel, James. Do they have enough fuel to get the rest of the way?
It's a good question. That could be really, really intriguing if it strikes any of these front runners. So hold your breath, because even if you've got a gap, this might not be over.
Bobby McCarty is out of fuel. All the same cars we saw had problems at Caraway with fuel mileage, having problems now. And they're going to stop in turn number 4 because Andrew Grady has problems as well.
And the yellow,
oh boy,
yellow flag is out with 3 laps to go.
4 laps to go in the Puryear 225 by Harrison's Workwear through the KRC Power Steering Restart Zone. It is a dead heat into turn number 1. Fryer on the outside gets the run. New leader off turn 2 by half a car length, Jared Fryer, but Josh Berry is there.
Big send into the corner for Josh Berry, but
big slide, Josh Berry.
I'm about to say he had to step out.
New leader 122, Jared Fryer, and he nearly missed the corner in turn 1.
Just about. You've got to stay on the outside though of Josh Berry through Fryer. You can't.
Contact.
Cannot let him get away.
Oh, what a payday this would be for Jared Fryer if he can take this one home. Berry back to the point, lap number 123.
That was a must.
He has outlasted a fierce battle with Layne Riggs, contact, a spin, and much more. But does he have enough fuel to get the rest of the way home? Down the backstretch, he can coast to turns 3 and 4, but he can't coast out. Off the final turn, Josh Berry will win the Puryear 225 presented by Harrison's Workwear. Jared Fryer second, Carson Quapple third. Here he comes out of the race car. Josh Berry wins the Puryear 225 presented by Harrison's Workwear. The fans are out. The Boo Birds are out. The first question, as I look at the damage on this race car, what happened in turn number 4 that ultimately put you in position to control the restarts and get the lead of this race?
Yeah, man, we were just racing so hard. Layne was so good off the top, and could kind of crowd me and get me loose, and I don't know, we just kind of kept making contact, and yeah, I tried moving him up a little bit to try to get by, and I mean, I thought that was about as clean as you can race side by side for about 50 laps at a place like this. So just hats off to these guys. We had a number, I was having a lot of trouble on the restarts there at the end, and I lost third gear on that last one, so we were having some sort of issue on the restart that Layne got in front. It didn't go into gear right. Whether that's user error or not, I don't know. It might have been on me, but either way, I lost third gear coming to the last one, and really, I thought I was a sitting duck, and I think I just got just a good enough start that I think Jared hesitated a little bit, and I was able to just get just far enough ahead that I could kind of work my way back for the next lap. So we were good. We need to be a little bit better, but like I said, hats off to all these guys. Thanks for coming racing with me. Thank you, Tire Pros and Harrison's USA for everything they've done for me and being on this car. And like I said, Brian and all the guys back at Junior Motorsports.
What does this do for you? And I know we look at this, it's a Cars Tour race. You're a big Xfinity driver now, but we know momentum and confidence is key. What does this do for you now for the rest of the Xfinity Series season, knowing that, okay, I still got this thing?
It definitely doesn't hurt, man. I said after qualifying, when that first lap, I was like, man, I can still drive. The last few weeks have been tough, but, yeah, it's just fun. And, look, this is who I am, right? I'm a short track guy. I've done this stuff for a long time. And honestly, really it was Brian and these guys. Brian called me, and he's like, hey, you want to go race? Like, I'll get the car ready. Like, you don't have to worry about it. You got to do what you got to do. And really, like I said, him and Slim and Carson, like I said, got this thing ready for me because just all the responsibilities I have throughout the week. So, like I said, hats off to these guys. Thanks, Ryan and Marty and everybody that come out here and help me today. It's always fun to win. 10,000 is another great addition for our late model program. And like I said, this makes yesterday a little bit better. And hopefully Dale was watching and he'll keep letting me drive his late models.
I think something tells me he probably will. Josh Berry, the winner here at Greenville, has to put the winner sticker on the race car. He'll get congratulations from track promoter Anthony Anders. Layne Riggs comes by.
Hey, look, no matter what, that was the most fun I've ever had in a race car. So I think there couldn't be two better drivers to put on a show like that for everybody at home.
Well, there you hear it, folks. So Layne certainly has good wishes from it as they continue to debrief, but we'll give them a second and get the sticker done real quick while they continue to sort that out.
Sideways, though. I had no tire left. So.
You heard Layne there, no tires left, but it was fun to watch. And there it is, Josh Berry again, a winner here in 2022 in the Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour.